The captain is gone. Is not playing. So where do we go from here? Penguins, Rangers. Let's get it on. It starts right now on Penguins postgame. Pens and the Rangers. Let's get started.
You're locked in to Penguins Hockey on the Sports for Beginners podcast. Sidney Crosby and the Penguins play here on the Sports for Beginners podcast. Hey, Showcase scores! The bingo game is ready to roll. Welcome to Penguins postgame. PPG for PGH. And you'd have to be here to believe it. Here is your host, Scott McGregor.
Good evening, Penguins fans. Good evening, Rangers fans. Penguins beat the Rangers 3-2. Welcome into Penguins postgame. Penguins and the Rangers. My name is Scott McGregor. Before we get down to business here and get into all our good segments here, Penguins fans, by the time you listen to this show, I hope you're enjoying. Yes, I hope you're enjoying free Big Mac. Oh, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. You're probably going to be enjoying this by the time you listen to this, but I hope you're going to be enjoying those free Big Macs as we record this tonight on the night of the game, Friday, February 7th, 2024. 2025, excuse me. We're not in 2024 anymore. We're in 2025. Scott, focus. It's 2025, not 2024 now. With that said, Penguins beat the Rangers 3-2. We're gonna break it down for you in just a couple of minutes, but to do that without the captain, Sidney Crosby, and without Gino, Evgeny Malkin, to do this without Evgeny Malkin and our team captain, Sidney Crosby, to do this without Crosby. Wow. What a game that was for the Penguins. And boy, did it ever feel good. Boy, did it ever feel good to get one in a 4-game season series with the New York Rangers, a metropolitan rival in the Metropolitan Division. Hey, you know what the even better news is? Hey, you know what the even better news is, I should say? We get to do it all again tomorrow night down in Philadelphia. Yeah, that's right. The Battle of Pennsylvania is coming up next on Penguins postgame next time. But we'll get to that when we get there. All right. I don't want to drop too far out of topic, but let's make sure we don't do that as we go over this battle in the Big Apple. It's a hockey night in the Big Apple in New York. The Rangers and the Penguins. Peter Laviolette versus Mike Sullivan. Those are our head coaches down at Madison Square Garden, the home of the New York Rangers. And now that our head coaches are out of the way, let's get right into our matchup in goal. As we always like to do this right at the start of the program. In goal tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins, it would be number 39, Alex Nedeljkovic. Alex Nedeljkovic, number 39, backing, I should say not backing, starting in goal on the Pittsburgh side of the ice. He goes against Igor Shesterkin. Igor Shesterkin getting the start for the New York Rangers. Has the only 2 victories so far this season in the season series since he has started all 3 games the Penguins have played against the New York Rangers. Jonathan Quick in at backup on the Rangers side. Joel Bloomquist. Joel Bloomquist in at backup on the Penguin side. So you got 30 backing up 39 and 32 backing up 31. But all in all, our matchup is Igor Shesterkin versus Alex Nedeljkovic. Alex Nedeljkovic. All right, we got some time here in our opening segment. So let's jump in. Let's jump into the game. And well, this is gonna be quite interesting. I'm telling you right now. It's gonna be interesting right now. Because not only did the Penguins not go into overtime against the Rangers, not only did the Penguins not go into overtime, but there were no goals scored in the third period by either squad. And it was 3 goals by the Penguins that led to the Penguins' victory. So let's go ahead and just break it all down for you here in the opening segment in our game summary, period by period. And you know what? Since we're doing by period, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break of the program after going over the first little bit of the second period, which will be our penalty summary. And in the first period, we go over the penalty summary. And of course, scored the only Ranger goal in the first period. So here we go. Rangers and the Penguins. Rangers hold a 2-0 lead on the Penguins in the season series. But we're in a new year. So is this a turning point for the Pittsburgh Penguins as they get ready to head back to Pittsburgh later this February after the Four Nations tournament to close out this 4-game season series against the Rangers? This was definitely a step in the right direction, but not to quote the old 2-9er Phil Borg, the Penguins were definitely stuck in the mud when that first goal got scored, and it was based off of a bad turnover. I haven't had a chance to check the highlights out yet, but maybe I'll do that over the course of our breaks. We'll see. The dads were in the dads were in the building, I should say. And the dad's suite was the best place to be for a Penguins hockey fan. Nice big win by the Penguins as they scored 3 in the second period to hold off the New York Rangers without Crosby. Yes, okay. Okay, let's get to it. I'm getting off a topic here. Here we go. Vincent Voracek gets things started with the only goal in the first period, 8 minutes and 31 seconds in. His 17th goal of the season. Alexis Alexis Lafreniere picking up his 18th assist of the season. Alexis Lafreniere picking up his 18th assist of the season. 18th assist of the season for Alexis Lafreniere. Alexis, if I pronounce your last name wrong, I apologize. But nice little assist there. Definitely off a turnover that the Penguins cannot afford. But hey, got to get a goal somehow. And they took advantage of I believe it was Eric Carlson turnover. And then the Penguins just said, okay, that's enough. Because in the second period, that's when things quickly looked like they were starting to turn in the Penguins' favor. But Adam Fox gets one in that second period. We'll get to that in a second. But yes, Vincent Trocheck picking up his 17th goal of the season to give the Rangers the early 1-0 lead. Speaking of the early, well, the Rangers receive a bench minor in that period. 2 minutes for too many men on the ice. Served by Alexis Lafreniere. By Alexis Lafreniere, I should say. And that came at 10 minutes and 32 seconds in. All right, you know what? I'm going to get to the third period penalties, second period penalties, and second period scoring, as well as our game stats before we get to the 3 stars in the second portion of the program. So be sure to stick with us. But I want to take a quick commercial break. And while I take this break, I want to remind you that this season on Sports for Beginners in Season 4, on weekly occasion, especially as we are on the road WrestleMania 41 in the WWE, we will be doing a little episode we call WWE Week, where we'll break down what went down on the Red brand, which is Monday Night Raw, what went down on NXT, and set up what's coming up on Friday Night SmackDown, given that this was a Friday game for the Penguins. We set this up for you on Thursday when I actually recorded the show. I believe I did it on Thursday. Maybe I did it before, but that's besides the point. That is besides the point. Yes, I actually did do it on Thursday, so yeah, I did do it yesterday. But anyways, that's besides the point. The point is, during this season of Sports for Beginners, as we prepare for spring training and baseball season, at certain points in the season, we will do WWE Week, where we'll break down what's gone down in SmackDown, what's gone down on NXT, what's gone down on the Red brand, which is Monday Night Raw, etc. All right, with that said, we'll take a break. When we come back, second period scoring, second period penalties, third period penalties, game totals, shots on goal. How did the team fare on the other side of the coin in face-off? What was the power play like? Who spent more minutes in the penalty box? Who out hit the other? Who out hit the other? What were the giveaways? What were the takeaways? It's all coming up when Penguins postgame continues in a moment.
What a busy traffic on this Friday evening. I am almost stuck in this traffic for the last 40 minutes. And there is no way, I think, for me to get to the show. The CNT Radio Song Bank, which is going to start very shortly. It's one of my favorite shows. And my, what a way to wind down for the weekend. Perfect 2 hours of fun-filled music. And she has so many great features. Sound of Music, Undercover, Foreign Exchange. Name that tune. And the big wheel that she spins. For Who's That? Or Where Are We? We cannot forget about the international stage. I have never come across such a great show in my life. I think I will have to press hard on my accelerator and go as fast as I can to get home in time. Wow! Wow! Look! I made it! I am almost there! CNT Radio, making your day brighter, one song at a time.
Looking for a sports podcast that covers sports weekly as well as gets you set up for the day? Check out Weekly in Sports with me, Scott McGregor. We give some shout-outs of the week to podcasts like this one and those who do them. Discuss the Blue Jays, Bill, Raptors, and more. To learn more, check out the Sports for Beginners Facebook page. Search Sports for Beginners.
Looking for conversations on the world of broadcasting, sports media, and from time to time, my favorite sports teams? Listen to Broadcast Map with me, Ali Musa. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Broadcast Map Facebook page. Search Broadcast Map.
Take another look with Gerda Felix and Melanie Taddeo Malo, two powerful women of diverse backgrounds having genuine, unique, and uncomfortable conversations that everyone needs to have. Join Melanie and Gerda for conversations about what is missing from human connections.
Welcome back to Penguins postgame. Penguins and the Rangers. Penguins taking down the New York Rangers tonight at Madison Square Garden. Moving things along on the program here. We talked about the first period, talked about the goaltenders, talked about our coaches, Peter Laviolette and Mike Sullivan. Peter, if I pronounced the last name wrong, again, sincerest apologies in advance. Same goes for any player I pronounced wrong in their last name. Apologies to you and your family in advance. With that said, moving things right along here on our game summary, period by period. Time now for the third period and second period penalties. As we started in the first period, before we took our first break, we're going to go ahead and start with the goals and move and make our way to the second period penalties. From there, we'll go to the third period penalties, and basically then that will be it for the game summary, period by period wise. But we still got game stats to get to. We still got a shake of the game to get to. We still got 3 stars to get to. We still got the game puck to get to. The game puck to get to. We still got a lot left to get to. So don't go anywhere. We have a lot to get to here. And again, as I mentioned off the top, the Penguins doing this without, I repeat, without Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby. They do it without Sidney Crosby. And yeah, well, they also do it without Ryan Shea and Matt Nieto, who were scratched in this game for the Penguins. I'm not really going to go over the Rangers scratches there, but I did go over the Penguins one, so I guess that's not really fair, but you know what? I just don't want to really mess up anyone's name. But again, like I've said before, if I do, I apologize in advance to the families of the players, and I apologize to the player in general for the mispronunciation of any name. Same thing can be said for Igor, your family name. I apologize to you. I apologize to your family if I pronounce your name wrong for the family, who I know is probably going to be, who are probably going to be, listening to this. And if you are a Penguins or a Rangers hockey dad, I invite you, yes, I invite you to please provide me with the right pronunciation for your son's hockey identity, if possible. All right, with that said, let's continue breaking this down. All right. When we last left, the first period, we had 1 goal, and that was all we got. So it's a 1-0 lead, a 1-0 lead, I should say, for the Rangers. Penguins down by a goal. Now, this was a common theme because guess what? The Penguins are the first team to score in the second period. So they went to the game's first power play, didn't score. They go to the game's second power play of the game, and they do score this time, but it's not till later. Early on, though, Blake Lizotte, he scored last time the Penguins were in New York. He scored the last time the Penguins were in New York. And guess what? He and Philip Tomasino strike again. Last time the Penguins were in New York, the Penguins had goals from Philip Tomasino and Blake Lizotte. Blake Lizotte picks up his 9th goal of the season. Former Toronto Maple Leaf Noel Acciari getting the primary assist on Lizotte's goal. His 5th of the season. EK65 Erik Karlsson picking up his 32nd assist of the season, number 32 on the season for Erik Karlsson. And the Penguins are on the board 2 minutes and 25 seconds in. Well, you talk about getting on the board quick. That was certainly getting on the board very quickly by the Pittsburgh Penguins. And great execution there by Erik Karlsson and Noel Acciari and Blake Lizotte. We are the Penguinis, as the old tuner likes to say. And yeah, we definitely are the Penguinis. I agree with you, Phil. And with that all said, okay, moving on. I don't want to get off topic here. Moving on. The Penguins would tie this game up. It's 1-1. 1 goal apiece, 2 goals in the game. Goal number 3 belongs to New York. It's their second 1 goal lead of the game. And this one goes to Adam Fox, his 4th goal of the season. Vincent Voracek, the Pittsburgh native, Vincent Voracek, he has, as I heard on the Penguins radio network, he has scored a goal in each contest that the Penguins have played against him. But he also scored an assist in this goal by Adam Fox. His 18th assist of the season, Ryan Lindgren, picking up his 12th assist of the season. Just a minute and just about 79 seconds after, I should say 79 seconds at least, after the Erik Karlsson, Noel Acciari, Blake Lizotte goal combination to tie the game. Adam Fox gets the game back in the Rangers' favor, but it would not last. Well, it would last for at least 6 minutes and 7 seconds, because at 9 minutes and 7 seconds, Rickard Rakell, he gets on the board. Number 25 on the season for Rickard Rakell. He's now got 25 goals on the season. Brian Rust, assist number 1 on the evening, number 21st of the season, number 21 of the season. Anthony Buvarelli also picking up an assist, his 6th assist of the season, and 9 minutes and 7 seconds. Once again, the Rangers' 1 goal lead is taken away. And then this time, the Penguins will connect. And it comes on the first penalty the Rangers take in the period. Will Cully, Will, if I pronounced it wrong, I apologize. Joe Brand had said Will Cooley, so we'll go with that. Will Cooley. 2 minutes for tripping. Time of the penalty, 11 minutes, 2 seconds. And that would be scored on a few minutes later. A few seconds later, I should say. As the Penguins get the only power play goal of the game. And the first, yes, I said the first power play goal of the game in 3 opportunities that they would have. Philip Tomasino strikes again, his 7th goal of the season. And this comes on that penalty to Will Cooley. 2 minutes for tripping, 11 minutes and 2 seconds in. A PPG for PGH and a PPG for the Dads of Pittsburgh. Brian Rust, once again, primary assist. His 2nd primary assist of the night, number 22 on the season in terms of assists for Brian Rust. And Michael Bunting picking up his 14th assist of the season. And just like that, the tide changes on the New York Rangers as the Penguins have to hang on for dear life into the 3rd period with a 1 goal lead. Their first and only lead of the hockey game, 11 minutes and 59 seconds into the 2nd period. Philip Tomasino turns the tide, and it's the Penguins now in front 3-2. After 20 minutes, it was the Rangers in front 1-0. Now the Penguins are in front after 40 minutes 3-2. Shots on goal by both periods. Penguins were out shooting the Rangers 11-8 after 1 period of play. After 2 periods of play, Penguins still out shooting the Rangers 15-10. They were out shooting the Rangers 26 to 50, 26 to 18. They were out shooting the Rangers. I just got word it's actually changed now, so it was actually, instead of 15-10, it was actually 15-9. So Penguins out shooting the Rangers 26 to 17 instead of 26 to 18, I should say. After the third period, I'll just get that out of the way quickly. Rangers outshot the Penguins 7-0. Not 10-0, 7-0, what it should have been. And therefore, our final shot tally, Penguins outshot the Rangers 26 to 24. But in the third period, even though no goals were scored, obviously overtime, no goals, no penalties because we didn't get to overtime. But in the third period, no goals to speak of, but we got some penalties, 2 of them, to Pittsburgh in this period. The first one went to Pierre-Olivier Joseph at minutes for interference at 13 minutes and 45 seconds. Then later at the 17-minute and 24-second mark of the period, I should say at basically near the last few minutes of the game, but at 17 minutes and 24 seconds is when it was called. So there was not a lot of time left on the actual game clock, but in the point of that, we were at 17 minutes and 24 seconds. Michael Bunting, the former Penguin, I should say the former Maple Leaf, is called for holding the stick. Well, it says holding, but you know what? I'm going to say holding the stick. It says holding. All right, you know what? We'll just let it at holding. Now, we know how on the ice and behind the benches our host Thomas McGregor feels about that kind of call, so I'm not going to rant on that. 17 minutes and 24 seconds, time of the penalty. The Penguins get two penalty kills on the Coppers' penalty kill. And they do get 1 goal on the power play. So I think we could pretty much note how the power plays and the penalty kill fared on both sides of the ice in this one. Speaking of that, since we've gone over our shots on goal, let's get to the rest of the game totals here before we take our second commercial break of the program. When we take our second commercial break of the program, we're going to hear a word from our good friends over at Sienna T Radio. After that, we'll get to the 3 stars of the game, the play of the game, and I'll give you the shake of the game. So be sure to stick with us for that. Here's how the stats for the game shake up minus the shots on goal at 26 to 24. A game like this that saw 44 face-offs in this game. 44 face-offs in this one. Well, the New York Rangers won 24 out of the 44 face-offs that they saw tonight, winning 54.5% of those face-offs. 54.5% of the face-off to account for the Rangers' 24 wins out of 44 face-off in this game tonight. Not too shabby for them. The Pittsburgh Penguins, just about 46% good, in the faceoff dot tonight. But of course, that also means that about 55% good were the New York Rangers. Penguins won 20 out of the 44 faceoffs that were tallied tonight. They went 1 for 3 on the power play, 2 for 2 on the penalty kill, and of course, Rangers killing off 2 penalties that they take, except the one that Philip Tomasino scored on early in the second period of tonight's game. And I want to make sure I have that right. Yeah, that is of tonight's game because we are still in tonight. And with that all said and done, moving along, the Rangers power play 0 for 2 in this one. The penalty kill 2 for 3 as they do kill off 2 penalties despite giving up one early on in the second period. They were perfect after the first period, not allowing the Penguins to score on that first opportunity. And then Penguins score on the second opportunity. And then not happening after that. All right. Moving on. The Rangers spend 66 minutes, I should say, not 60. They spend 6 minutes in the penalty box. The Penguins spend 4 minutes in the penalty box. They were out hit by the Rangers 24-20. They blocked 22 of the Rangers' shots. Rangers blocked 15 of the Penguins' shots. The Rangers finished the game with 1 takeaway and 17 giveaways. 18 giveaways for the Penguins and just 2 takeaways for them to finish the game. I want to make sure I don't say that. What I said earlier, crap or rent. I should say to finish the game. And that's what I was intending to say, so I kind of stumbled on my words there. My apologies for that. All right. That's out of the way. We'll take a quick break to hear a word from our friends over at Sienna T Radio. After this word from Sienna T Radio, it's time for the 3 stars of the game, plus the play of the game, and the shake of the game puck of the game, and a look at the action on Friday night, coming up in a matter of moments as well. Plus, how do the Penguins and the Rangers fare heading into the last game of the season before the Four Nations break? And what's their schedule like afterwards? Stick with us. More Penguins postgame in just a moment. Right after this, from our friends at Sienna T Radio.
Sienna T Radio will never give you up. They will never let you down. Nor will they run around or desert you. So join Nick Astley for The Melting Pot every Saturday on Sienna T Radio. Hang on a minute. He's not Nick Astley. Oh, jings, I've done it wrong. Anyway, just join Nick for The Melting Pot on Sienna T Radio.
Great to hear from our friend over at Sienna T Radio. Oh, I had the mic away there for a little bit. Sorry about that. I had the mic away there for a second, but yeah, that's okay. As long as you could hear me, that's okay. So welcome back to Penguins Postgame, as I said. Welcome back to Penguins Postgame. Great to hear from our friends over at Sienna T Radio. Great programming on there, especially tomorrow. And I plan to actually check out some of the early content on Sienna T Radio's Triple Play. And I can, because you know why? I can. You know why? Because it all starts in the morning at 11:30 a.m. with Nick Blazewit. But we'll talk more about the programming on there in just a little bit. We got some business to attend to. I also want to let everyone know here that our look around the NHL is coming up in the final segment with our game puck of the game. And as you all know, our honorable mentions during the shake of the game segment, which is coming up in just a matter of moments. We'll get the game puck of the game a little bit later, which comes up during the final segment. And we're going to get to the next 5 games, including the games leading to the Four Nations tournament break. That all still to come. But during this segment, we're doing 3 stars of the game, play of the game, and the shake of the game. So without further ado, let's get to it. Those 3 stars, by the way, on the Penguins Radio Network, as you all know. And just a disclaimer, we are not sponsored by it. They are brought to you by your neighborhood Ford stores. Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are the official vehicles of the Pittsburgh Penguins. The 3rd star is the aforementioned Vincent Voracek. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points for him. And Penguins right winger Philip Tomasino picking up the 2nd star of our 3 stars contest. And your 1st star, he may not have gotten you goals to give you half off Rusty Shakes at the Milkshake Factory ahead of our Pennsylvania Showdown tomorrow night against the Philadelphia Flyers. But he got you 2 assists in a 3-2 victory for the Penguins. I'll get to a couple of news and notes before we close out the program, including, especially on the Penguins side, what happened during this game. But we want to let everyone know that Boko Amama suffered an injury, an upper body injury. He suffered an upper body injury in the game tonight, did not return. So his status is questionable for tomorrow night against Philadelphia. But we will see. Anyways, Brian Rust gets the 1st star of the game. 2 assists, 2 points, no goals. That's okay. The 3 stars are Brian Rust, Philip Tomasino, and to give the Rangers a bit of credit, well, I mean, they do deserve a lot of credit for the way that they started the game. But the Penguins came out guns a-blazing. They came out guns a-blazing against the Metro foe in the New York Rangers, the Metro rival, I should say. And that's Vincent Voracek, who's going to get the 3rd star. Vincent Voracek, Brian Rust, and Philip Tomasino getting the 3 stars of the game. Have a difference in opinion? let us know at Sports for Beginners Podcast 8231 at gmail.com. That's Sports for Beginners Podcast 8231 at gmail.com. Or under the Discord server, under Penguins post-game show interactions. And you know, I just realized I need to actually put this in our description of our episode so that you guys can actually join that Discord server and provide us your thoughts. But you know what? If you think providing email is better, honestly, you do you. With that said, it's time for our play of the game. That on the Penguins Radio Network. The play of the game is brought to you by on the Penguins Radio Network. Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh's entertainment destination. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. You must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. We are not sponsored by Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh's entertainment destination. But that is the sponsor for the play of the game on the Penguins Radio Network, WXDX FM Pittsburgh, an iHeart radio station, and your home of the Pens and the best Pens coverage. All right, with that said, what's the play of the game for me tonight? Tonight, my play of the game goes to Adam Fox. You know what? I could go to a Penguins player for my play of the game, but that quickness, that toughness from Adam Fox, letting you know, I know you tied the game up, but I'm going to be quick here to get the lead right back. So, Adam Fox's fourth goal of the game, fourth goal of the season, brings us to a good enough area for my play of the game. So Adam Fox's fourth goal of the season and goal that gave the Rangers the lead before the Penguins took it right back and actually took the lead this time is good enough for my play of the game. And again, that is brought to you by on the Penguins Radio Network that we are not sponsored by, nor are we affiliated by, I should say. Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh's entertainment destination. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 years or older to play. If you have questions or concerns about your gambling, as I said before, please call in the American sideline 1-800-GAMBLER if you're on the Pittsburgh side. And if you, and as always, I should say, please play responsibly. And again, you must be 18 years or older to play. With that being said, play of the game out of the way, 3 stars out of the way in this segment. One more part to go before we get to our last segment of the show, which is the game puck of the game tonight. And of course, our look around the NHL and the next 5 games for the Penguins and the Rangers, including, I believe, one more game for both squads before we hit the 4 Nations break. We'll get to all of that coming up in just a moment. But before we get there, it's time for the shake of the game. This is the segment where whoever we give out an honorable mention to is in line to possibly get a game puck of the game. That's the game puck of the game, which is coming up in the next couple of segments. All right. So, tonight, we're going to give 2 shake of the game out. And the first one, we're going to start on the New York Rangers side. The first one is going to go to goal scorer Vincent Voracek. I thought Vincent did really well in this game. I thought he did really, really well in this hockey game. But you know what? He does only get 1 goal. And as a Penguins hockey fan, I would love nothing more than just 1 goal and not too many more. 1 goal is good enough. But you know what? Sometimes, if you're patient enough, you might be able to score more goals in this game. Heck, we might not even have a 4-2 win for the Penguins or a 3-2 win for the Penguins or even a 4-2 win for the Rangers or a 3-2 win for the Rangers. Just thinking about that makes me wonder what our officiating looked like. But I'll take a look at that when I take a look at the highlights, which I intend to do when we get out of here. All right. With that said, next up for the Rangers, we're going to get a shake of the game out to Igor Shesterkin. Igor did really well in this game. 23 saves on the 26 shots he faced. Gave up 3 goals, 1 on the power play and 2 at even strength. But he still played really well. Only played 57 minutes and 26 seconds on the ice. Finishes the game with a save percentage of .885. Not too bad for Igor Shesterkin. But hey, he got 2 victories in the last time he's played the Penguins. The last 2 times he's played the Penguins, I should say. So you had to think the Penguins were going to get something out of tonight. And it's fitting that it was a win, but that just means that they avoid the sweep option for the New York Rangers, to sweep the Penguins. And not only that, they can tie the season series with the New York Rangers with a victory on Saturday after, is it Saturday or is it Sunday afternoon? Is it Saturday or is it Sunday afternoon? It is indeed Sunday afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on February 23rd, 2025. And we are in 2025, just to make sure I have that right. So, yes, the game is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Central on Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh, when they will wrap it up here in their season series in Pittsburgh on that afternoon game. All right, with that said, moving along, let's go to the Penguins for the shake of the game. And by the way, I forgot to mention before we went to the Rangers, this is the segment that was inspired by Jake Gensel and the Milkshake Factory ad that he had created. Of course, he's now not a Pittsburgh Penguin anymore. He is a Tampa Bay Lightning player. But, Brian Rust is running that same little ad for the Milkshake Factory. So anytime Brian Rust scores, you receive half off Rusty shakes next day at the Milkshake Factory. Providing you the official milkshake of the Pittsburgh Penguins. All right. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, the shake of the game is going to go to Alex Nedeljkovic. Nedeljkovic, I thought, stood on his head in this game. I thought he played exceptional. Yes, he gave up 2 goals, and yes, they were all at even strength. But 59 minutes, 54 seconds on the ice. 59 minutes and 54 seconds on the ice. Not bad. A save percentage of .917. Not too bad. A save percentage of .917. A save percentage of .917. Yeah, that's not too bad. .22 saves on 24 shots. Okay. Next up for the shake of the game. I mean, you know what? I could give it to a goal scorer like Philip Tomasino or Ricard Raquel, or even the other goal scorer, which was Blake Lizotte. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to, speaking of those men, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Philip Tomasino. Once again, Tomasino strikes in New York, and wouldn't you know it, his goal is the game winner. The GWG in short. All right. Honorable mention to Ricard Raquel, and an honorable mention also to Emil Bemstorm, was called up from Wilkes-Barre, and he took the place of Matt Nieto, who was expected to replace Crosby, but I'm not sure what happened with Matt Nieto. We'll see if we can get something out of that. Also want to issue a honorable mention to Ricard Raquel. Oh no, sorry, I already mentioned Ricard Raquel. Let's go with Anthony Buvarelli. Anyways, honorable mentions for the New York Rangers. Let's go with Jimmy Vesey. Yeah, okay. He might not have done much, but he was out there on the ice tonight. And then, of course, you got to talk about Ryan Lindgren. 1 assist in this game tonight, could have had a lot more. And how about the former Penguin and former Vegas Golden Knight, Riley Smith? All right, so those are some of our honorable mentions, and those are the people in line for the game puck of the game. We'll take a 30-second timeout word from on the ice and behind the benches. And after that, we'll start wrapping things up with the game puck of the game action around the NHL on this Friday night. One other game has gone final, and I believe one more game is going to go final very soon. And one last game has just gotten started. We'll get to all that action, as well as the action going on into that second period intermission. They are on their way to the third period, And boy, do we got a good one in Edmonton tonight. 4-4, Avalanche and the Oilers. More on those scores in our final moments of the program coming up after this from On the Ice and Behind the Benches. And I forgot to mention, following the game puck of the game on both sides, it's time to find out how the Penguins and the Rangers match up heading into the Four Nations tournament and coming out of the Four Nations tournament. Stick around. Penguins postgame starts wrapping up on the other side after this from On the Ice and Behind the Benches.
Looking for a good hockey podcast that covers your favorite hockey teams and mine? Check out On the Ice and Behind the Benches, where we chat about our favorite hockey teams from puck drop to the last play of the action. To learn more, follow the On the Ice and Behind the Benches Facebook page. Search On the Ice and Behind the Benches.
Looking for conversations on the world of broadcasting, sports media, and from time to time, my favorite sports teams? Listen to Broadcast Map with me, Ali Musa. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Broadcast Map Facebook page. Search Broadcast Map.
Wrapping up things nicely here on Penguins postgame as we tune in to some of the action going on around the league here. Game puck of the game coming up in just a matter of moments. Going to tune into a couple of the games going on in the NHL right now tonight. Of course, by the time you hear this show, probably ahead of the massive black house, I should say. Well, actually, it's not really a black house, I'll say this, but massive games that are going on Saturday. There's like 14 games, including our game, on our next game here on the program of Penguins postgame. There's like a massive number of games going on, and some of them will be final probably by the time we get this out to you or before then. But regardless, got a couple of games going down now. Two of the early window games besides our game from Friday night have gone final. And one of them is the Jets taking on the New York Islanders. The Jets beat the Islanders 4-3 in Winnipeg tonight. Down in the Windy City, the Predators strike back. Well, they strike back, but they fall 6-2 to the Chicago Blackhawks down in the Windy City, which will be where we will see the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox play come this summer and spring, rather, when we get to baseball season, but more on that another time. Still ongoing right now, the Edmonton Oilers and the Colorado Avalanche are tied at 4 goals apiece in the third period currently. And we have a 1-0 score in the late game right now that's going down on Sportsnet and wherever else you can find the game. The Kings are leading the Stars 1-0 in the final game of the Friday action. So only 2 games on right now. 1 game will be on by the time that Oilers game goes final. Avalanche looking for double victories in Alberta. But can they do it? That remains to be seen. Back to the Penguins game right now. Time now for the game puck of the game. And here we go. Game puck of the game for the Penguins, despite, 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 despite what happened in our 3 honorable mentions, we're going to go ahead and give an honorable mention to Emil Bemstorm. We did in the player of the game segment we call the shake of the game. He's going to get an honorable mention. The game puck of the game is going to go to a guy that we had talked about earlier, and that's going to be one of the other goal scorers in Blake Lizotte. Blake Lizotte's going to get the game puck of the game tonight for the Penguins. If you have any different opinions, let us know in Penguins post-game show interactions on our Discord server, or send an email to Sports for Beginners Podcast 8231 at gmail.com. Once again, that's Sports for Beginners Podcast 8231 at gmail.com. And of course, that's for the play of the game, 3 stars of the game, shake of the game, and game puck of the game. Speaking of which, let's get to the Rangers game puck of the game, as we have now hit an hour into the program of the show. So let's quickly get there, and then let's wrap this up with what's next for the Rangers, what's next for the Penguins. The game puck of the game is going to go to honorable mention. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give it to the goaltender. I wanted to say that we were going to give it to an honorable mention, but we're going to go ahead and give it to the goaltender, Igor Shesterkin. Igor really played well in this game, but the Rangers really didn't do much to, they did a lot, but they didn't do much to get the win. And the Penguins were able to come out guns a-blazing in that second period. And then next thing you know, your one goal lead for the Rangers goes to a 1-goal lead for the Penguins, not once, but twice. And after the second time, it was all over from there as the Penguins protect a 1-goal lead to give us our final score tonight. So Igor Shesterkin, and of course, Blake Lizotte going to get the game puck of the game for this game tonight. We'll wrap up this season series with the Rangers at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Pittsburgh on Sunday, February 23rd, 2025. Our coverage of the post-game show will come your way right after the game if we're able to get it to you there. Otherwise, you can catch it on Monday ahead of the Penguins' next couple of games. Of course, by then, the Four Nations tournament will be in the rear mirror for the Penguins and every other hockey team. And just in case anyone is wondering about this, you probably aren't, but this is a replacement for the 2025 NHL All-Star Game. And also, there is a chance that the NHL, all players in the NHL, just might be headed to the Winter Olympics in 2026 next year. So, with that said, we're about now 1 hour and 3 minutes into the show. So let's go ahead and not waste any more time and get down to it. We're gonna start with the Rangers. And the next 5 game nights for the New York Rangers, minus playing Pittsburgh on on Sunday, the 23rd, that is, of February. Minus that, they will play the Columbus Blue Jackets tomorrow night. By the time you listen to the show, they will be getting ready to play the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I believe, is that a home game? No, that's a road game. So they're going on the road to close out the Four Nations tournament. They're going to be on a 4-game road trip that starts with a quick break in between for the Four Nations tournament. After their matchup tomorrow night against the Columbus Blue Jackets at 7 p.m. Eastern, they'll play the Buffalo Sabres on Saturday, February 22nd, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And of course, that means it'll be 4:30 p.m. Central, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 p.m. Mountain. And the timeline there is 5 p.m. Mountain for the Columbus Blue Jacket game, because 4 p.m. Pacific is time of tomorrow night's hockey game for the Rangers. Same thing goes for the Penguins. Moving on, they will play the Penguins on Sunday as we wrap up the 4-game season series with the Penguins on Sunday, February 23rd, 2025 at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Central, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time in Pittsburgh. Then from the Penguins to the Islanders for a Battle of New York, I should say. I mean, you can call this battle whatever you want when it comes to the Islanders and the Rangers. They will take on the Rangers on the 25th, February the 25th, Tuesday, February 25th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central, 4:30 Pacific. 4:30 p.m. Pacific, and 5:30 p.m. Mountain. Then they are taking on the Leafs on Friday, February 28th, 2025 at 7 p.m. back at home to close out the month of February. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, they're back-to-back on this 2-game road trip. Wraps up tomorrow to send us to the Four Nations break at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm not going to go over the rest of the timelines there for the Penguins, but because we would be here all day. We would be here all day if I did so. But it's another Battle of Pennsylvania next time on Penguins postgame to send us to the Four Nations tournament. Then, afternoon hockey in Pittsburgh in a back-to-back 2-game home and 2-game, I should say, home stand, as the Penguins will take on Alexander Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals in Pittsburgh on Saturday, February 22nd, 2025 at 3 p.m. Eastern. Following the Rangers game, which we mentioned on the Rangers' next 5 games, which will be on Sunday, that's at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And the timelines, as I mentioned, they're all the same there. With that said, moving on to Tuesday, which also leads into Thursday, it's back-to-back. Battle of Pennsylvania to close out that 4-game series with the Philadelphia Flyers for the season, as these are the last 2 times the Penguins will see the Flyers this season, unless the Penguins find their way into the playoffs, and they're gonna need quite a bit of win to make sure that happens. You got the Flyers at 7 p.m. on February 25th, which is Tuesday. In Philadelphia. And then you got Penguins and Philadelphia doing battle Thursday night in Pittsburgh on the 27th of February to close out February. And that, of course, will kick off a 3-game homestand that will have the Penguins see the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs right after that home-and-home series wraps up with Philadelphia. Then a 3-game road trip follows shortly after the 3-game homestand, kicks off with that home-and-home series, wrapping up on Thursday night. Last night of February for games on Pittsburgh side. March is on its way, which means we are down to the final 2 months of the season. Can you believe it? How quickly has the season gone? Well, they say time flies when you're having fun. Penguins beat the Rangers 3-2 at Madison Square Garden to enjoy a 2-point party on Madison Square Garden. I should say in Times Square, given that this was in New York. They wrap up the season series in Pittsburgh on Sunday after the Four Nations tournament. So for New York Rangers, for the New York Rangers fans and Pittsburgh Penguin fans, we will catch you all for another episode of Rangers versus Penguins on that Sunday, the February 23rd, 2025 edition, to wrap up that season series. Should be a good one. Penguins looking to tie the series. Rangers looking to win the series 3-1. But now our focus turns to the last game. Our focus is turning to the last game before the Four Nations tournament, which is round 2 of a 4-game set with the Philadelphia Flyers. The Penguins lead 1-0 in that season series. Looking for a 2-goal lead, a 2-game lead, I should say, on the Flyers. What will happen at Wells Fargo Center? We'll know the answers by the end of tomorrow night's game. My name is Scott McGregor. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight on the podcast. Would love it if you took a second to rate, review, and share the podcast. Have a good night, everybody. And as always, let's go Pen. Battle of Pennsylvania next time on Penguins Postgame. Until then, let's go Pen. And we'll see you next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. You've just listened to Pittsburgh Penguins hockey on the Sports for Beginners podcast. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Sports for Beginners Facebook page. Search Sports for Beginners or visit the official Sports for Beginners podcast website. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay tuned. And remember that it is not goodbye, it is until next time. And you'd have to be here to believe it.